Good evening, world. It's coming to the evening. It's coming to 5 o'clock. Hope you guys enjoyed my show I made yesterday. Did you apply to Shadow Cards yesterday, Ivan? Yes, I did. I biked there. It was like an 18-minute bike ride. It's pretty far. It's like way down Elmer, close to the Ottawa Bridge. But it was like an 18-minute bike ride. I biked there and back. I applied there. I applied online. It never got back to me, so I decided to apply in person. They told me they'll call you and ask you for hours, but every job says they'll call you, right? That's what they all say, right? So, hopefully I hear back from them. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Did you apply for dishwashing, Ivan? Yeah, I applied for dishwashing. Dishwashing there is minimum wage. I make $16 an hour. That's minimum wage in Quebec, right? The gates will never let me do anything besides minimum wage. 18, 19, 20 an hour, they won't let me make that. Because they know if I make that, I'm pulling in my 40, 45, 50K a year. And that's why they only allow me to do minimum wage, because they're crazy people, yeah. So Ivan, so far all the jobs you applied, you never got back to? Yes. I applied to good, like, I don't know, 15, 16, 17 places. Something like that. None of them got back to me. In a sense, I'm stuck at Coco 40, but Coco 40, I'm willing to work 5 days a week, but the other guy works 5 days. So he's making all the money, and I'm making my $600. Because I only work 3 days at Coco 40 now, yeah. Was today busy, Ivan? For me, it was. Yeah, like for a weekend, it wasn't that busy, obviously, but for me, it was busy because I was alone. So I had to wash a lot of dishes, man. It took me today again, I don't know. I took my break at 1:30. I ended my break at 2. It took me 2 hours to close today. Yeah. I ended my break at around 2. I finished at 4:16. Because I had to take out a lot of garbage. The other guy mopped for me, but I had to take out a lot of garbage. And I had to wash a lot of dishes too, man. It's a lot of work over 40, man. That's why I was stressed out. I was so tired. Yeah. Yeah. Right now I'm desperate. I need the money, so I want my 5 shifts back, but the other guy works 5 shifts. The fair thing to do is we work 4 shifts a week each. I work Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. He works Monday to Wednesday, and then he works Sunday. But he works Monday to Thursday, and then he gets Friday, Saturday off. And then he works Sunday with me, obviously, the other dishwasher. You saw the Vicks. Yeah, my nose is a tiny little bit stuffed. It's not really stuffed. Like, it's just a little bit stuffed. Knowing your nose is a bit runny, you have a running nose. Yeah, I have a bit of a running nose, and my throat's a little bit scratchy too. I have a scratchy throat, obviously. That's why I have my Vicks on my nose, you guys can see, right? Yeah, thank God I have my bike, man, because every time I finish my shift at Coco 40, I'm exhausted. Because I have my bike, I can bike home. I don't have to walk home, yeah. I fixed my bike last paycheck. So, yeah. Yeah. Shadow Cartier is a fucking nice hotel, man. Holy shit, man. I went inside. I didn't know it was that luxury. I went inside. They have a high-end. It's a high-end restaurant, man. I'm like, holy shit, this is a nice fucking hotel. Yeah, and that's the hotel I'm staying in when I say my final 10 goodbyes, right? I'll be staying at Shadow Cartier. I've never been there before. That's why I want to stay there. I want to visit the hotel. I'll stay there. I'll stay at their suites for 10 days. That's why I don't want VJ see me during the 10 days, right? Yeah, VJ, sage your fucking ass. I don't want you to ruin the surprise for me. let me enjoy myself for 10 days and I'll see you in Los Angeles after when I get my check off. Sarah? Yeah. Did you clean your room, Ivan? I just put the cans in my bag. I'm too tired to clean on a weekend. After work, I have no energy to clean. I'll clean it Monday. Monday, I'm off, so I'll clean it Monday. Yeah. And happy Canada's Day to all you people in Canada. Canada is coming up in like 2 days, 3 days, whatever it is. Yeah. July 1st is Canada's Day. And happy Independence Day to all you guys in America on July 4th, right? And happy Canada's Day to all you guys in Canada. Yeah. Yeah. So it is a bit stressing, Ivan. Yeah, because like I'm like, even though I work and everything, I make limited money because the gatekeepers lock all doors on me, man. Like, I work so hard. All these guys all get their 18 an hour, 19, 20, 21 an hour, and I make my like minimum wage 15.75, 16 an hour. And I only, the max I can make is maybe my 1100, whatever it is. Because I'm limited how much money I can make. Yeah, that's why the gates are not touching my money, man. You haven't worked blood, sweat, and tears for peanuts while you're making your billions for 40 years. These billions off the book is for me, VJ. It's not for you. There we go. You're not touching my money. From Sarah. The money off the books for me, VJ. It's not for you. You're not touching it. There we go. So VJ will be curious how much money you make off your book. Of course you will. When we go to the hotel, we hook up for the first time. After we hook up, she's like, she's like, Ivan, so you told me you talking about how much money you made off your book. How much money you made off your book, by the way? You know what I'm saying? She's giving me that evil look. I'm like, I made $10.8 million. You made $10.8 million off your book? I'm like, yeah. She's like, holy shit, that's a lot of money, Ivan. Yeah. She doesn't know it's like that kind of money. BJ, yeah. She doesn't know what's like to have that kind of money. Are you gonna share that with me? I'm like, yeah, I will, man. Relax. Girl's fucking evil, man. I'm sorry, man. I want a piece of your money. Yeah, I'll share with you. Relax. Are you gonna share your money with me too, VJ? Yeah, I will. Yeah. Lots of money you're sharing with me too. It's fair. That's what I did for you, man. It's fair. Let it go. We can build that dream 500 in our house. I know. Like, I can easily be smart with my money and maybe put only maybe 100 million towards my house. But like, if you really want to pimp out a house like Incredibles, you gotta put like 500 million towards it. He's like, no, Ivan, let's put 500 million towards it. It's a good investment. Let's pimp it out more, Ivan. Yeah, we pimp it out more. We got more enough money. Yeah, I put 500 million towards my house, so I make 10 off the book. Yeah. Make 11, 12, I'll put 550. Yeah. A 500 in our house is something like what you see in Incredibles, guys. That's unheard of, man. And the Hollywood actors were saying, get the party up there. My 17, my Hollywood 17, get the party up there. Peter Jackson, Mel Gibson, get the party up there. Get a Moto, Fran. Eric was a hacky Tony, get the party at my house when they sign their contracts. Yeah. Yeah, but Ivan, if you're looking for another job and you no longer work at Coco 40, how are you going to contact Reza and Haki and Tony? I have their numbers, so I can call them, right? Yeah, I have their numbers on my phone. Yeah, Reza, Haki, Tony, I have their numbers. Whereas Eric Chung, I don't have his number, obviously, but I'll find him, obviously. Yeah. So, Sarah? We can start that film studio. I know, VJ. Start that film studio. Yeah. Yeah. And I'll make Xanus for $2.4 billion. Yeah. Which is $800 million per volume. That way you give Peter Jackson an unlimited budget. I'll put $500 million towards visual effects, $220 million towards the costumes, armed weapons, and the mask, and a lot of money towards the other stuff. That way, Peter Jackson and Mel Gibson have an unlimited budget for my movie, my Xanus movie. My voice is giving out, man. Because of my scratchy throat. Yeah. Some Sarah. Yeah. I don't know, you're gonna write their unique? Maybe. I might think about it. Yeah, once my book's proofread and I design my cover, I might consider I'm gonna take notes that they're unique. And I might write the book. Maybe. Me will make more money, right? I now have two IPs. They're unique and Xanus, obviously. Most likely not, though, but I might write their unique. We'll see what happens. I'll purchase a laptop, though, this time. And what I can do is, if I do write their unique, I will film myself writing the novel. Isn't that cool? Yeah. I film myself typing it. When I write on my notebook, I won't film that. But when I type it on my laptop, I can film it. That way, you get the journey of me writing their unique book. Which for Xanus, I can't because I already wrote it in the past, right? I can't turn back time right now. Xanus is just me going over volume 3 because I already wrote the book, right? So the book is done, yeah. Will you do your Ivan's go through series tonight? Maybe. I might do my Ivan's go through series tonight. I around maybe 8:30 I can do it. Yeah. So I mean, is writing a novel hard? Yeah, a little bit, obviously. But if you're creative, you can write your own novel. Obviously, you have a creative mind. You will not have a tough time writing out your novel. If you're not that creative, you might have a tough time writing out an amazing novel. Because anyone can write a novel. The question is, can you write a good novel, right? Yeah, obviously. Because a lot of these writers on Fantasy Writers Reddit, you can tell those guys have amazing knowledge of the English literature, but they're not really storytellers. They don't know how to tell a good story. There's a difference between being a good writer and being a good storyteller, right? I'm not that great of a writer, as you guys read in my book. I only all these archaic big English words. I don't even know half the words, man. Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, I read some of their stuff. I don't even know what half those words mean. But yet my story is so more entertaining because I'm a great storyteller. There's a difference between storytelling and writing, right? A lot of those guys are amazing writers. They try to wow you with their English literature. Guys, stop trying to wow the reader with English literature. Nobody fucking cares about how beautiful your English is. They're reading a book. They care about how good your story is. Hence, writing a book. Writing a book means you're supposed to tell a story. You're not meant to write to try and wow the reader with your beautiful English words. There's nothing wrong with doing that, but don't do it too much, man. Like, don't spend like 3-4 pages doing that. Otherwise, you're gonna bore the reader, man. I'm telling you right now, man. You're gonna bore the reader. They're not gonna like your book. Like, keep the story pacing. Focus more on your story, less on wowing the reader with your English literature. Samsara. Yeah, man. Me, I keep my descriptions simple. I don't use all these big words. Yet my story is so more entertaining because I focus on the story and the characters and telling a great story, less on trying to wow you with how beautiful I write English. Like, yeah, those guys are better writers than me, but they're not better storytellers than me. They don't know. I read their book. It has pacing issues. There's plot holes. It's beautifully written literature, but it's boring. The story's not going anywhere because they don't know how to pen down a good story. Some of them are pretty good, but some of them are not that good. Obviously, on Fantasy Writers Reddit, right? Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, even the greatest storytellers have writer's block. Yes, I had writer's block when I wrote Xanus too. I'm not gonna lie. Even though I have a creative mind, I had writer's block too. A little bit of it in like 2 chapters. Landing Chaos, I had a little bit of writer's block, especially when it came to the Eratat scenes. I had writer's block there, and Secret Council and Surprising Arrival. I had writers the chapter I'm working on right now. going over volume 3. I had writer's block in that chapter too. Hence why when you read those chapters, you can argue they're weaker than the other ones because I had a little bit of writer's block a little bit of it. I struggled a little bit. What happens in the story? But because I'm a grave genius, it's still an amazing chapter. It's not as good as the other ones, obviously, when you read it. You had writer's block, like what we read was fucking entertaining. Yeah, even my weak chapters are amazing. As I showed you guys at the beginning of Land and Chaos, right? They shall not pass these sacred walls. Your Majesty, shall we put it in writing? Put it in writing. You know, I said, I'm now sick. I know my book is sick. Yeah, that's that chapter I had writer's block, right? Yeah. What chapter were you really like zoned in and like you wrote it? You wrote an amazing chapter. Tachys or Colonius, when she's like, Father, what's wrong? That chapter I was in the zone. I had all these ideas come up in my mind, I wrote it, and that's why that chapter you can argue is the best one in volume 2. The Tachys or Colonius chapter. Father, what's wrong? Tell me! That man, yeah, that's the chapter where I was in the zone. It's a shorter chapter though, but that chapter is very entertaining. The Lithia chapter, I was in the zone too, but Tachys or Colonius was the one chapter whereby I was in the zone. And I just wrote a beautiful chapter. Access of Sideways, I was also in the zone too when I wrote that. Job, I take you out of horses taken care of. Yes, they're well-fed dragons. Always been like, what about Tachys? Maybe that was sick, I know. Yeah. Why? What do you mean by in the zone? In the zone means where, like, when I was writing, like my mind, my creative mind just kept flowing. I just kept writing, and I read the chapter. It's fucking beautifully written. It's a masterpiece. That's what I mean by in the zone. The Tachys or Colonius chapter, that's the one chapter whereby I was in the zone. I remember writing it in my room back in 2019. No. I started writing that chapter in, 2019. No, 2018 I wrote it in my room. Towards the end of 2018, towards the end of 2018 I wrote that chapter. And I was in the zone and I wrote it. I wrote the chapter in like, I don't know, like a couple days a week. I wrote the whole thing, yeah. That's a short chapter, it's not that long. It's a fucking entertaining chapter. Yeah. I thought Well Fed and Drank, that's that chapter. No. Their Well Fed and Drank is the X of Sapphirus. So 2 chapters later. Father, what's wrong? Like, Lit, that's crazy speech. No one's the heir of Zane's wandering these parts. That's the Tachys or Colonius chapter. That chapter, when I wrote that, I was in the zone. I was in the creative zone, and I wrote a beautiful chapter. That's a fucking entertaining chapter, man. Yeah. 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 Yeah, I read your book, you don't really use all these big English words, and when you describe stuff, you only describe stuff for maybe a paragraph. And it's very simple. You use simple words, and yet your story is more entertaining than all these guys who are better writers than you. Yes, because those guys on Fantasy Writers Reddit and a lot of these authors, aspiring authors, they're better writers than me in terms of the knowledge of English literature, but they're not better storytellers. They don't know how to. A lot of them don't know how to tell a good story. They try to wow you with their English literature, and that's what they try to do, but the story's not going anywhere. It's still boring. Yeah, it's beautifully written, but the story's not going anywhere. It's boring. Like, are you telling? Like, you're writing a book. Your job as an author when you write a book is to entertain the reader and tell a good story, not try to wow them with your beautiful English words, man. A lot of these guys don't get it because they just don't get it, yeah. They try to wow you with their English literature instead of trying to wow you with their story. No, man, focus on the story. Don't focus on the. Yes, it's nice to describe stuff with beautiful English words, but get to the point, get to the characters, get to the dialogue, get to the action, get to the story. Stop trying to what? Wow the reader with your poetic English words. Otherwise, you're going to bore the reader if you do that, man. If you do that a lot, right? Yeah. They spend like 2, 3, 4, 5 pages doing that. And the story ends up being boring, yeah. It's not going anywhere. Pacing issues, right? Yeah. The more I get paid at Dinty's, yeah. I only get like a $190, $200 paycheck. Because I only work once a week now. That's why I'm looking for another job. Yeah. Yeah! Someone's calling me. My youngest brother's calling me. Give me a second, guys. guys are back. My youngest brother was calling me or something. My youngest brother is also trying to lose weight too. Because when he was younger, he used to be skinny, right? Skinny, and now he's fat, so he's trying to lose weight too. He's like 282. I'm like 263, 260. Because I've been eating poorly the past couple days. Yesterday I had 2 slices at Bob's. The day before that I had 5 hot dogs at Snack Shack. But today I'm gonna eat food at home. I'm gonna stop buying food, right? Yeah. Ivan, do you purposely leave it vague, or that's just the way you write? Both. Like the way my brain works, I like to focus more on the characters, what's going on with the characters, less on dumping you with what the world's like. At the same time, I know I'm not stupid. I know if I spend pages describing stuff, I'm gonna bore the reader. That's why I avoid doing that. Yeah. You have something called info dumps in book writing. There's something called info dumps. Yeah, if you spend time info dumping, you can bore the reader. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with info dumping. If you're someone who likes to give more detail, there's nothing wrong with giving more detail. I personally keep it vague. I don't give much detail. I focus more on the character's perspective. But the reason why I can focus on the character's perspective, because I know how to make the world building jump out through the character's perspective. If you're not that great with character perspective, then that's why a lot of people, they info dump you, because they don't really know how to make the world building jump out through the characters, obviously. So they focus on dumping you with landscapes and everything. There's nothing wrong with info dumps, but don't do it too much. Like, don't spend like 4 or 5 pages doing that. You're gonna bore the reader. Spend at most maybe a page and a half. That's my advice, man. Anything over like a page and a half, you're pushing it and you're gonna bore the reader. The longest info dumping I have in my book is maybe 3/4 of a page. Maybe about 3/4 of a page, and that's it. I don't go any longer than that, and I get right to the point with what's going on with the characters, and that's why my story's so interesting. Because I focus more on characters, and my worldling jumps out because I focus more on the character's perspective, and it makes the worldling jump out. Like, Lit, that's crazy, bitch. No one's the Arab Zanes watering these parts. We're in the South. Yeah, the way they speak, it makes the worldling jump out, even though my worldling's vague. I'm saying? Yeah, that's what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah. I'm saying? That's why Zane's number 1, man. My stepmother, I'm not lying, guys. My stepmother told me your book's number 1, Ivan. She told me that. She said, Ivan, that book's number 1. And how Hollywood would love this, Ivan. They'd be all over this. Yeah, she told me that. I know. And you guys read Session of my book. You guys know what I'm saying, right? You turn on the movie looking at a masterpiece, man. The best movie children ever made. Yeah. Hollywood all over my story. I was looking at my story. I'm not selling out to the gates, man. And money's mine. I'm not selling out to the gatekeepers. Yeah. The money is for me, VG. It's not for you, man. I'm not gonna let you take, I don't know, me and VJ's 10 billion when you make your trillions area. You're crazy, man. Yeah, man. And have I don't want the Hollywood companies touching my story, man. I'm very protective of my story. I don't want the executives touching my story, man. They can ruin my story. The Hollywood executives are not creative people. They're business people. They don't know a thing about creativity, man, those guys. As George said in that interview, right? The Hollywood executives are not the most sophisticated people in the world. Yeah. They really did know what the word graffiti meant. Yeah. Yeah, the Hollywood executives are not the most sophisticated people in the world. That's funny, I know. Yeah. So if the Hollywood executives had control over your story, you'd be pissed off. Oh yeah, I'd be very pissed off, man. And they're making all these changes, and I have no say. I have no power. I'm like, yeah, there's nobody's touching my Xanus. Xanus is my baby. I wrote that. I don't want anybody touching that, man. That's my masters that I wrote. I'm very protective over my Xanus, man. I don't want anyone touching my story. There you go. I'm very protective of my Xanus right now. Yeah. As Xanus will be more popular than Harry Potter, guys. Yeah. And Harry Potter is fucking popular, yeah. Yeah. And hence, once me and VJ experienced the fame, VJ's like, holy shit, this is crazy fame. Like, this is much crazier than J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter, I know. Because I'm a son of God and I wrote the book, and the book is better than Harry Potter, Xanus will be more popular than Harry Potter. When I release on Hulu, right when I'm king, yeah. More popular than Harry Potter, man. And Harry Potter is very popular, right? Yeah. Be more popular than Harry Potter. Yeah. Yeah. So what will people mainly take pictures and videos of you and VJ for? Our relationship. Me and VJ are the perfect couple. So a lot of fans are gonna take pictures of me and VJ because they want to know. They want to know what it's like for I and VJ to be together. Because we're the perfect couple. At the same time, you also have the fame of the Xanus book sales, obviously. So for me and VJ's relationship, a lot of people take pictures of that. Obviously, that's trending, as well as the Xanus fame, the book fame of Xanus. A lot of fans are gonna come up to me and ask me for pictures. Yeah, and they're gonna want me to sign their books and everything. And I might go book tour for Xanus too, right? Yeah. I might go on a book tour because I'm gonna have my email information at the back of my book. Yeah. Some Sarah. Because Xanus is the best fantasy ever. I guarantee we'll go on a book tour. Because the whole world, everyone in the world will be blown away by my story. Holy shit, man, that's a masterpiece, man. That's the best fantasy novel I've ever read in my life, man. I enjoyed that more than Lord of the Rings and Way of Kings and Game of Thrones. Yes. Xanus is a better story than all those books, man. It's a masterpiece. Those books have deeper, rich speech, richer world building, richer descriptions and everything. better English words, but the story's not as entertaining. Xanus is more entertaining read when you read it. Xanus is more of a simple read than all those books, but still, because it's so entertaining, I entertain the fans so much, they're all going to be shocked. Holy shit, man, I wrote a masterpiece. Yeah, I wrote a masterpiece in my book. It's sick. Yeah. As you guys read, right? Ivan, if you write They're Unique, will you show us snippets of it? Yes, I will. If I write They're Unique, I'll show you snippets of it. And when I show you that, you're going to be hooked again because I'm a creative genius, man. As I showed you the beginning of They're Unique, right? Ivan, that's a good start to your story. Yeah, that's my beginning of They're Unique, man. Yeah, she was a half-breed, half Rican, half American. Ivan, that was sick, I know. I'm an amazing storyteller, man. But even in They're Unique, you notice how I don't use all these big words, right? Yeah. Because half these words that all these guys use, I don't even know what half of them mean. I'm not that knowledgeable in the English literature, right? I know how to tell a good story. I'm a good storyteller. Yeah. Did you make any major... What's the one chapter, Ivan, where you made a major change? The prologue. I rewrote the prologue. My original prologue was not the one I showed you guys. That prologue was pretty good, but it was just me telling. I was doing a lot of info dumping, and I decided to change it and show more than tell. Well, as you guys read in my prologue, I rewrote my prologue. The Lithia chapter is the one where I made the major change, as my original chapter was nothing like the one I showed you guys. It was different. And the reason why I rewrote it is because the families deleted my my chapter 4. My computer, the computer shut down. Back then I didn't have a laptop, and part 4 got deleted. Chapter 4, the Lithia chapter, got deleted. I ended up rewriting it, and my second draft is much better than my first one. God protect me, yeah. I ended up writing an even better chapter because they deleted that file that chapter got deleted, and I rewrote it, and it's even much better than the original one I wrote. Did you initially have the idea of the ancestors? No. When I'm like George R. Martin, I'm also a gardener writer too. Like, yeah, I do plan a little bit. I take a little bit of notes. This happens here in each chapter, but I kind of let my creativity guide me. I'm a gardener writer too. I'm not an architect. I'm a gardener, like George R. Martin says, right? You plant the seed and you see how the story grows, and that's how you write your book. That's how I write too. I'm kind of an unreliable narrator. I just let my creativity flow when I write. I have a few notes here and there. This happens here and there, but I let my creativity flow, and I plant the seed, and I let the story grow on me, and that's how that's how I was this. I initially didn't even think about the ancestors and all that stuff. It wasn't until later that's when I decided to include the ancestors. Yeah. The religion aspect of my book, because when you read Volume 3, you'll see a bit of religion in it. I did not have that in mind when I was writing, when I started writing my book. But I decided to go that direction to make it a powerful story, obviously. So, huh? Yeah. Yeah. What's the difference between an architect and a gardener? The architect already has his whole story completely planned. They know what they want to happen in every scene. Gardeners do also like even people who are gardeners, they obviously have they obviously have an idea of what happens in each chapter, but they let the story guide them, guide their writing. Whereas the architect, they let their notes and their pre-planned brainstorming guide them. Whereas the gardener lets the story guide them. The architect already has the whole story planned out. I did not have like everything completely planned out for Xanus. I let the story grow, and that's how I wrote my story. I'm like George R. R. Martin. I plant the seed and I let it grow, let the story grow on me, and that's how I read my book. But I do a little bit of planning too, obviously. I did a little bit of brainstorming for Xanus too, obviously, right? Yeah. How good is Xanus? I mean, it's so good. It'll be a public embarrassment in the industry, man. That's how good of a book I wrote. Yeah, I wrote a masterpiece. Yeah, man. Like George R. R. Martin, he didn't even finish his Game of Thrones series. He's supposed to write Winds of Winter and Dream of Spring, and I heard it's been like 13 years since his last book, and he hasn't finished his novel. That's not good, man. That's doing a disservice to the fans. But at the end of the day, George R. R. Martin is not what he's not the fans' bitch, right? Like it's up to him to finish it. But do you think he'll finish it, Ivan? Honestly, something tells me he will. I think he will finish Winds of Winter and Dream of Springs before he passes away because George R. R. Martin's getting old. He's 76 now. He probably has maybe another 20 years left on the earth, right? So he needs to get it done, man. Yeah. Not good for the fans, right? George R. R. Martin obviously has writer's block right now. He doesn't. He's stuck, as that's why it took him so long to finish the book. Same time, he's distracted doing all these other projects too. Yeah, obviously. That's why sub-publishing is better than traditional publishing, because if you traditionally publish, I guarantee you George R. R. Martin's publishers are putting pressure on him to finish it, but he what? He hasn't finished it yet. But because George R. R. Martin's making them millions, they cut him some slack, obviously. If you're a best-selling author, you're making the book publishing houses hundreds of millions, they'll cut you more slack. They'll let, okay, he's a best-selling author, his book is automatically successful, but they'll still I guarantee you the editors and Penguin House, because George R. R. Martin signed Penguin House. I guarantee you they do put a bit of pressure on George. George, man, when are you gonna finish your manuscript? And he's like, I'm not done yet. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's why self-publishing is better, because self-publishing you don't have to worry about the pressure. The brand's yours. You can take your time writing your book. But even if you self-publish, you don't want to have the fans wait 10 years for a sequel, right? If you're going to write a trilogy, a fantasy trilogy, you should release books at least every, 5 years max. Anything over 5 years is too long. You don't want to keep the fans waiting, right? And it's been 13 years and George hasn't finished Winds of Winter. And the fans are all worried, man. Is he going to finish his series? Because his legacy at stake. George does not want to go down as an author who wrote his Game of Thrones masterpiece and he never finished his series. Some Sarah. So I see the fans' point, obviously, their point of view. A lot of fans are very pissed off at George because he didn't finish his Game of Thrones series yet. It's been 13 years since what is it? Dance with Dragons. That's the 5th book, right? Yeah. So Ivan, you might write their unique. Yeah, I'll think about it. I might write it. More money for me, VJ, right? Right, their unique and VJ are gonna make our 20 plus billion off the two books. Yeah. Most likely not, though. I'm just gonna focus on Xanus. Getting it proofread. I have to save my money, get it proofread, design my cover, and yeah. I still gotta pay back the government, man. I have like 200, like I don't know, $60 left to pay off. Yeah. 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 Ivan, does your book have flaws? Of course it does, man. Every book has flaws. Even the greatest storytellers, the greatest authors have flaws in their writing. Yeah. But my book is amazing, man. It's a masterpiece. Ivan, what are the flaws? Okay, the character of Patrice, Lithius' father, he's not developed well. He's not developed well at all. That's one flaw. I don't really focus on him. The Crows and Eagles are also not developed that well either. And Airtown and the Wolves are not developed that well in Volume 1 and Volume 2. But Volume 3, I developed them better. They're better developed in Volume 3. And there's a bit of rawness in my writing when you read it, as you guys caught. Because you'll catch some rawness in some of my writing. I don't know. 0.3% of my book has a bit of rawness in the writing. But most of it is top notch. It's still more entertaining than all these other fantasy novels that you guys read, right? Yeah. All the book nerds out there, right? That's my point, yeah. 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 I'm sorry, but I like Brandon Sanderson's Way of Kings and J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings and George R. R. Martin's Game of Thrones better than your book Ivan. It's more rich and deep, the world building, and it's better written, more beautifully written. Okay, if you like those books better, I understand. Art hits everyone different ways right now. I highly doubt it. My book's more entertaining as you guys read, but some fans might even like Way of Kings, Game of Thrones, and Lord of the Rings better than Harry Potter better than my book, right? Everyone art hits everyone different ways. I like Lord of the Rings better and Way of Kings better. Ivan's book was a bit raw when I read it in some sections. I like Lord of the Rings better. Yeah, if you like Lord of the Rings better, I understand. Relax, calm down. But ignore the haters, Ivan. They're just hating on you because they're jealous, man. No author entertained the reader the way Ivan did, man. The way Last of Us Aliens did. Yeah, they're just jealous, Ivan. They're hating on you. They say, no, you wrote a masterpiece. Yeah, you made your billions off it too, right? Yeah. They're just hating on me because they know I'm now a successful author. Yeah, I even wrote a masterpiece, raving reviews, the best fantasy novel ever written and everything, and he also made his billions off it. He's successful with Victoria Justice. They're jealous, hence why they're hating on me, because they're jealous of my success. Yeah. My book sold more copies than Harry Potter, man. Harry Potter sold 600 million copies to this day since inception. My book will sell easily 650, 700 million copies around the world. Even more, 800 million, 900 million, a billion copies sold. My guess maybe 700, 680 million copies sold. 680 million copies sold, yeah. I made out of my 10.8 billion off the book. I'm successful now, yeah. So I really think some fans will like it, those other books better. Yeah, possibly. I highly doubt it because my book is highly entertaining, but some fans might like those books better, but I highly doubt it, man. Yeah, I've read Lord of the Rings, and Lord of the Rings is considered the best fantasy novel ever written. Better than even Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings is like a back and forth with the fans. Most fans will say the two best fantasy series are Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings. You have this back and forth. But unanimously, most fans will say Lord of the Rings is the best. And yet I read Lord of the Rings. Yeah, it's a masterpiece, but it's a bit boring when you read it. My book is more entertaining when you read it. It's a better read than Lord of the Rings. More entertaining read Lord of the Rings. As you guys read, right? Yeah. 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 So, Ivan, what's the best advice you can give the aspiring author? Keep practicing your writing, man. That's the best advice I can give you. I recommend you challenge yourself. Write like a 10,000, 20,000 short story, fantasy story, and that's how you practice your writing. You get better. and watch Brandon Xanus' lectures on writing fantasy. All you guys who want to write fantasy, watch Brandon Xanus' lectures on YouTube. It will help you out a lot. Yeah. It doesn't hurt to read the greats too, but the reading thing is good too, but the best advice I can give you is just keep practicing your writing. That's how you hone your craft. That's how you get better. Some Sarah. You may not write a good book like as good of a book as Last of Us Ains and Way of Kings and Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones, all and stuff. But if you hone your craft, you can become a pretty good writer, and you can write a pretty good book, maybe a 6 out of 10 pretty good fantasy story. That's how you practice your writing. Some Sarah. Yeah. But every aspiring author's dream is to be a best-selling author and you make your millions, but that's tough, obviously, because you have a lot of competition. You're not George R. R. Martin, you're not J.K. Rowling. Those guys got lucky. You're not Brandon Sanderson, you're not me, the son of God, who has the keys to the kingdom. But, like, you know what I'm saying? Don't hate what I'm saying, yeah, but you just keep practicing your writing, and that's how you hone your craft as a writer. And show, don't tell. Show more than tell, and avoid a lot of info dumping. When I mean info dumping, I mean avoid info dumping the reader with like 4 or 5 pages, man. Don't do that. You're gonna bore the reader if you do that, man. Don't do that. Yeah, but Ivan, Jared Tolkien does a lot of info dumping. Yes, but Jared Tolkien, even though he does info dumping, he what? He still wrote a masterpiece. His story is amazing. And he wrote Lord of the Rings in the 30s, 40s, and the 30s and 40s and the early 50s. He's a product of his time. Like he wrote the book in a different generation. That's why his writing is dated, is outdated. It's dated when you read it. Yeah. Whereas nowadays most authors don't info dump the way Jared Tolkien did, obviously. But I learned that mistake from Lord of the Rings. Even though Lord of the Rings is a masterpiece, because Jared Tolkien spent so much time with info dumping, he bores the reader a little bit sometimes. That's why Lord of the Rings I see as a boring masterpiece. It's a masterpiece, but it's a little boring for me when I read it. I'm sorry. Yeah. I really didn't know you were gifted before. No, I thought Xanus would be maybe an okay novel, right? And once I started reading sections of my chapters, that's why I knew. Yeah, I knew this is number one. I knew, obviously. I knew because I read all these other books. There's something dull and a bit normal about these other books compared to my book. My book's unique. I'm very hooked reading it, and the characters really jump on the page. They come alive. That's why I've been bragging to you guys for years how my book is better than Lord of the Rings. And I showed you guys sections of my book, and you guys now believe me, right? Yeah, and I believe you. Your book looks better than Lord of the Rings. It is better than Lord of the Rings. It's more entertaining than Lord of the Rings. But some fans might like Way of Kings Lord of the Rings better. I understand. Art hits everyone different ways, but I highly doubt it, man. My book is a better read. You know, more entertaining read when you read it. Some sour? Yeah. Even visually shocked, yeah. Did you really write that book on your own, man? I'm like, yeah, I did. Holy shit, that's a masterpiece. That was the best fantasy novel I've ever heard in my life, Ivan. That was so good, I know. Masterpiece, man. You know. It's a masterpiece. My book. Your book is sick, man. I know, John. My book is sick. I can't wait to be part of that movie. I know, John. Yeah, a sick movie. Yeah. Our cousin, we see Prince Takius, as he happened to have found passage here. You're going to see John Vegas say that in the movie. He was like, this horse is thirsty. You see adding circus? Yeah. But yeah, it's a sick movie. Ivan, you're crazy. You think your Xanus IP is better than James Gunn's DC, Marvel, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, and Star Wars? Well, my stepmother told me it's number one, which means it's better than all those IPs. Like the gatekeepers own Hollywood, they know all the best IPs. They own the book publishing business. They know all the best books, and they told me Xanus is number one for a reason. It's better than, which means it's better than all those IPs. It's a masterpiece, man. The best fantasy story ever told, man. Masterpiece, yeah. Some Sarah. Yeah. Yeah. When your stepmother said number one, what does she mean? Is it art or like money? Both. They know because I'm a son of God and I wrote it and I have the keys. Hundreds of millions of copies sold, being out of Harry Potter, and they also know it's the greatest story ever told. As when the gatekeepers read my book, they were obviously shocked. As I heard my stepfather one time, he's like, "How the heck can you come up with a story like that?" Yeah, they were shocked when they read sections of my book. When they hacked my laptop, right? They ruined my laptop, yeah. They obviously read some of it and they were shocked. It's a masterpiece. And I guarantee when you guys read my book, you were shocked. You didn't know it would be that good. And then all of a sudden you read, you're like, holy shit, this is fucking entertaining. You're hooked reading it. Yeah, you're hooked turning the page, man. The book is a page turner, man. You just keep turning the page. It's a masterpiece. Yeah. Yeah. That's why all the big book publishing houses are pissed off. Yeah, I wish Ivan can sell and come work for us as an author. He can write like he's their unique book. He can write it. He can do prequels for Xanus. Yeah, Xanus, when you read it, you can easily do prequels, obviously. I'm not writing prequels for it. I think Xanus, you should leave it alone. You shouldn't touch it. Yeah. 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 So VJ will be blown away by your book. Yeah, Ivan, you really wrote that book? I'm like, yeah, I did. She's like, holy shit, that's a masterpiece. I know. It's a masterpiece. And she'll be blown away once the house is built too. We build our 500 million house. She's like, holy shit, this is my dream, Ivan. This is unheard of. Yeah, so we want an unheard of house, man. Like Incredibles. You know, with GPS speaking automatic doors. Something better than Iron Man's house in the movie, right? Iron Man's house in the movie is maybe 250 million around there, right? I'm putting 500 million towards my house. It's unheard of. As I he's like, oh my god, Ivan, this is my dream. This is such a beautiful house. I know. We built an unheard of, like, advanced house. That's why she cries me. And she doesn't want to out of life, man. She's crazy. She's a crazy woman to be checked out. I'm not gonna listen to you, man. Like, after you cry, you're gonna keep seeing the guys and banging them. And so I'm gonna ignore you, and I'm not gonna take you seriously. I'm gonna lose this weight and get my girlfriend. You're pissed off, I'm sorry. Karma's a bitch. And there you go. I'm not gonna have you do like that, man. No way. Who about you think it's okay for you to have moments with men, but I can't have one moment with one chick? No way, man. I'm not gonna have you doing that, BJ. And Ivan, even when she says you're hurting me, Ivan, and she's crying heavy tears, don't fall for it. She's being manipulative. She's still gonna keep seeing the guys, Ivan. Don't let BJ do that, Ivan. She's a crazy woman. It hurts, Ivan. You're hurting me, you know what I'm saying? She's crying heavy tears. She's trying to play that pity game with me, and after that, I hear you moaning after that. You're fucking the guys. I'm not gonna take you seriously, BJ. I'm gonna get my girlfriend. If you're pissed off, I'm sorry. Karma's a bitch. There you go. I never had one girlfriend in my life. I'm 100% justified in getting my girlfriend, BJ. If you're pissed off, I'm not gonna listen to you. I'm gonna ignore you. Just like you ignore me, you don't listen to me either. There you go. I'm sorry, man. I'm a selfish bitch, man. I like these guys. It's tough. I can't stay away. Yeah, I like her too, man. I like the chick too. I can't stay away either. There you go. Fuck you. Yeah, VJ, you want your full K, but you're not going to get your full K because you're crazy. Crazy woman. Yeah, I'm sidetracking. Yeah. last one. Oh, my battery's low, guys. But it was almost done anyways. I'll talk for another 5 minutes. I'm done here. Yeah. It's not charging. What's going on here? Okay, that's why. Yeah. So the movie will have crazier buzz in the book, of course, man. I'm acting as Prince Tactius, VJ's Lithia, I'm bringing the world to life, and heir to the number of devils and demons, unheard of battle scenes. I'm bringing the battle scenes to life, the whirling. He'll obviously have crazier buzz in the book, but the book will have crazy buzz too, man. Obviously. But the movie will obviously have crazier buzz in the book. I'm bringing the world to life, and I'm acting as Prince Tactius, man. Ivan the Man, the Son of God, acting as Prince Tactius. And that's why the movie has crazy buzz, obviously. And VJ's Lithia too. VJ's bringing the character of Lithia to life, right? Father, what's wrong? You're gonna see VJ in the movie? She's worried. Tell me! That man. Hey, look at a sick movie. Praise I, this movie is alright. No praise, we're on the ring. Masteries, you know. Yeah. My book is so good that even guys like George R. Martin, J.K. Rowling, Brandon Sanderson, they would love to collaborate with me in writing a novel. Because I'm such a good storyteller. But I wouldn't accept it because I'm not a fan of collaborating with authors because authors have different styles of writing. I don't write the way those guys write. They don't write the way I write. And we might have different creative minds. Different creative minds. So it's like, yeah, it won't work. I will never collaborate with an author. I prefer to write the book by myself. I don't want anyone tampering with my idea for the story, right? That's why it just won't work, obviously. But they would love to collaborate with me. That's how good of a storyteller I am, yeah. You know, Ivan's a fucking creative genius, as I am. I'm a creative genius. Some sour. That's why Xanus will be the best fans ever written. And it'll be the best movie children read when you guys read the book, right? Looking at a masterpiece that I wrote. No, Ivan, seriously, man, what's your advice? Okay, guys, I'm gonna tell you my advice from my opinion. Practice your writing. Keep writing. That's how you get better and you hone your craft. Show, don't tell. And get to the point with the story and the characters. And avoid too much info dumping. You're going to bore the reader if you do that. Because a lot of these aspiring authors, they try to wow you with their English literature, less on wowing you with their story. Forget about the English literature. You're writing a book, you have to focus on the story, not the wowing of your English literature, your skill in the English language. Focus on just telling a compelling story, less on info dumping and trying to wow the reader with your amazing poetic words. Yes, it's beautifully written, but the story's boring. It's not going anywhere, man. Get to the point with the story. Keep the story pacing. Throw in a foreshadowing, or try to have each chapter have a climax or foreshadowing that leads to something else in your book. That way you keep the reader reading and hooked, and you keep them turning the page. That's my advice I'm going to give you guys. I'm sorry. And watch Brian Xanus' lectures on YouTube. I hope you will too. Yeah. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy this show. Stay tuned. I'll make another video tomorrow after my daunting shift at Coco 40, or I might do another video, my Ivan's go through series tonight. We'll see what happens. It's Vladimir. I'm signing out. Peace, guys. Hope you guys enjoy this show. Peace out. Don't hate them, son. Xanus.